Well, we are live now. How about that? I am live today. This is Darci LaRocque with Agent Tech Mastery. We save time and tech troubles, and we save agents money and get referrals and repeat business. And the training that we do is just about one question: how can agents fix messed up systems and build a streamlined business that saves them 10 to maybe how many more, way more hours a week and hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost commission? And if you want to know the answer to that, you're in the right place. In these interviews, we don't talk about specific software. Every agent is different, but we're interviewing some grads from our program, and this is our third interview. First interview was with my husband. I don't know if that counts. He's kind of biased. And second interview was with Rich Vieira. And today we get to talk to Carmen McCracken. And I'm pretty excited about this because Carmen, you and I have known each other for years. And we actually, before I started the way I do stuff now, with I run agents through the 7-week program, we used to work together one-on-one, and then you came through my program. And so kind of what was the difference between the two, and what'd you get out of it? Like, can you just say hello and where you're from too?
Well, hello, I'm Carmen McCracken. I'm a realtor with RE/MAX West Coast here in sunny Richmond, BC, the home of our Vancouver International Airport, YVR. And I'm just starting my 12th year in real estate. And I would like to just talk a little bit about how I met Darci. It was at the Fairmont in Whistler about 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
I came in on the tail end of her presentation because I was in another group. And I really was impressed with Darci. I loved her energy, her enthusiasm, her authenticity. Loved her hair. Curly hair was a big draw. But I did introduce myself to Darci right after that event ended, and then we connected about 2 weeks later. So I think our relationship was a lot of hand-holding initially.
Yeah.
But what the Agent Tech Mastery did was it allowed me to fly with what you had already taught me and to come out of my own comfort zone. I mean, I'll just use the example of switching from MS Outlook to the Gmail email.
Yeah.
I was so married to Outlook that I thought, oh, I like the interface. And then the Gmail is actually so much better.
Yeah.
And it's given me, if I've just got more confidence for my own problem solving now.
Yes.
And the reason I love having everything on the Google Drive is I've got complete data redundancy, but it's so easy to find files from 10 years ago if you just go up on the drive to search for it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Right. And Carmen's talking about anyone who's listening who uses Mac Mail or Outlook. Carmen's talking about a web-based platform. So Outlook is horrible. And it comes from both you and I know, like corporate users, usually people who, are corporate users use Outlook, and then they are real estate agents, they use Outlook. And Outlook, as anyone knows, Outlook has corrupt database. You might have to repair it. You might have to hire people to come in and fix your stuff, right? And it just does a lot of bad things. And so it's better to go directly, whether, again, if we ever talk, people, I'll put a link below, but whether it's Yahoo or Gmail or whatever, it's web-based. So it goes direct to the source. So you're not using that middleman, right? And
it was a transit. Like, I had to get there. Like, I was reluctant at the beginning, and I think I was kind of stuck. Well, I don't want to have to learn one more new thing.
Oh my goodness, yes.
But now I'm just, I love knowing that my calendar is coordinated on all my devices. My contacts are there. Nobody's traveling internationally, but the next time I'm out of country, I've still got access to all of my data, all my database clients. And having that confidence that you have complete redundancy too, like it's that whole notion of not having to back up your data. It's already there and secure.
Because now that's one, if your computer dies, like, okay, crappy, we got to go get another computer, but I could go next door to the neighbors, log on, and my stuff's there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then it's also kind of galvanized me into doing more database touches now. Like, I did change my business model last fall, and I got a new site in a new
Tell
way.
everybody, Carmen's awesome, you guys. If you're ever looking for an agent in Richmond, Vancouver, tell them your new website because it's awesome.
It's called Carmen.ca. It was my daughter came up with that brand, and it's easy, and I ran it by a couple of designers. I ran it by Darci initially when I was contemplating, and she was very supportive. It's got that alliteration, the CA, and
what's your tagline?
When integrity matters, call Carmen. But the fun tagline is, thinking of making a move in 2021, get McCracken and call Carmen.
I love that. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with it. And but I do think, when you look at your systems, I mean, the other common thing that Darci and I have, we both worked at Vancouver Coastal Health at the same time many years ago. We discovered that after we became friends.
Yeah.
But the thing about what I've done with the ATM, the Agent Tech Mastery, is it's really made me more motivated to get out and touch my database, in terms of regular communications and sending items of value. And
yes,
right now I do a quarterly newsletter. I'm thinking of actually making it every other month rather than just doing 4 touches a year. So it kind of makes you rethink how you're going to work your database, remind your database that you're out there and what you're all about. So yeah, it's just given me a whole new opportunity just to start over and leverage what I already had there. I mean, I'm in my 12th year now. So yeah.
I loved when you were going through. So just to recap, the program is 7 weeks and it's called Agent Tech Mastery, and we call it ATM because Carmen's saying ATM, that's what that means, Agent Tech Mastery. And it was interesting with you because we had worked together. Usually I hadn't worked with agents before and they come in and we're fixing all their stuff, but we'd kind of done your stuff a while ago. But then what was kind of cool about you coming in is that technology changes all the darn time, right? And so when we met again, and in my session, we do have some private sessions, I looked at your stuff again, like we had to fix a bunch of things because stuff happened again, right? Because technology changes, software changes, and how on earth does an agent keep up? There's no way.
Exactly.
Right? There's just no way. I'm keeping up with stuff. But even today we were just talking about Google made some changes, some CRMs made some changes, some other software made some changes, and it is impacting kind of contact syncing. And I've been on the phone with all these different vendors saying, what's the CRM people saying, well, how's that impacting you? What's going on? And then the beauty of it is that when I figure out the answer, which hopefully will be next week, I'll update a module in Agent Tech Mastery and I'll email blast everybody and say, it's really important to go back in and find out what they're all recommending you do.
Yeah.
Right.
And the other thing I really enjoyed about ATM too was the Friday sessions where we had the 2 hour, because that was always very spontaneous. There was really no structure or agenda, and it just kind of evolved. And so because people would just throw things out there, often they applied to the whole group. And so you're getting the benefit of somebody else encountering something that maybe you haven't experienced yet, or you maybe just have as well. Yeah. So I liked that as well.
Fridays are awesome. Just to recap about that too, is every Friday when you're in the program from 9 to 11 PST time, we have a 2 hour Q&A. And sometimes there's questions and sometimes there's not. And like Carmen said, it's just kind of organic. And I really don't structure it for that reason. I'll answer the questions if there are some, but if not, we just start talking about, we talked about so many different things, DocuSign and Chrome browser and just things that people encounter that, hey, do you know how to do this? And obviously if I know, I'll tell you, but someone else in the group might do it a different way. Better way. And so it's learning. I love Fridays. It's a learning from everybody else's experience.
Yeah. And I think that's the one thing we have to, I know you probably remember this in healthcare, we were always talking about continuous quality improvement, but I think with technology, you've just got to be open to the fact that the learning never stops.
It will never stop.
You do have to adapt and move forward. You don't want to be left on the platform when the train's kind of pulling out of the station. Right?
Exactly. It's so true. That's the one thing. And, like before, this is when you and I used to work together, what it was is people would buy packages of time, right? And I always hated it. I really did, because I felt I was doing a disservice because a lot of times you're not going to remember what we did, right? It was live. I didn't record it. And then a week later, it's like, how do you do that again? And then you have to hire me again. And I didn't like it. And the beauty of it now is that I always keep on the technology because it's always going to, like you said, ever changing all the time. And all I have to do is update a module and let everybody know. Like, it's a beautiful thing for me. And for you guys, you don't have to worry either.
Yeah.
Right? Because anything that happens that's happening that's impacts your business, I'm going to let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And the other thing too is, I mean, I really do like the Google platform, but I have to just speak to their level of support too. I mean, they are, the last time I talked to one of their guys, he said, hey, we're here 24/7. He said,
they are.
Time. And, you know, they really do troubleshoot. They leave their cases open for 30 days if you have to follow up.
Yep.
And that's just very reassuring that if I have an issue, I know I can get help with it. Whereas before I would have panicked and said, I've got to call Darci. I don't know what to do.
Right. And that's the part that I want when I'm helping agents now is like, I want everybody after the 7 weeks to really not need me. That's my goal, is that I want you to feel comfortable enough that you know where to go to get support, to figure some of it out yourself, or go to the vendor support. And what Carmen's talking about with Google, if you're thinking about that, you do need to book a call, and agenttechmastery.com/apply. You can book a call with me, and just because most of the time, and Carmen, way back when, I think you're the same, is that people have, you know, 4 or 5 different email addresses. They're using different cloud storage. They don't know where their stuff is. Their phone says one thing and their CRM doesn't talk to it. And then, or they log on to whatever, Gmail or Yahoo or Shaw or Outlook or Macmail, and nothing is talking to each other. And so when you're set up properly on the proper plan, everything is integrated. And that's the beauty of it. And support. I would never recommend a company ever, even if they do sync properly, and even if the software is awesome, if their support sucks, never. Right? Because, you know, when you're in the middle of something and something's going haywire, you don't want to wait a week for someone to get back to you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you want to know that the person on the other end of your call or email is reliable and credible, you know.
Yeah. And always there's any CRM that I'm recommending with agents, same thing. They have to have the best support ever, for sure. Yeah.
The other thing I would throw out there to people, if they're contemplating, you know, signing up for ATM, it is a good time right now. I think we can say it's one of the benefits of COVID, because, you know, essential service in British Columbia, and so we are still able to conduct real estate differently, but with all the protocols in place. But it does kind of, you know, we're all working from home more than ever now.
Yeah.
So if you know, this is a good time. If you're going to be home more than you normally would be, it's a good time to kind of contemplate, well, maybe I should get all of my devices integrated and talking to each other. And you know, your database and your calendar and everything are the same, no matter on your phone, your laptop, your iPad, whatever, right?
Right. And especially now with COVID, I always joke that, you know, it might be a good excuse to get away from the family that you're with 24/7. I got to go do my homework. Right? It's like, okay, but you're right, it is. And honestly, anytime is a good time, because the other beautiful part about it is if you're up at 2 a.m., you can go do the modules, that rewatch modules. If you're at 6 in the morning, like, there's no set schedule except our Friday Q&As. And when we do the one-on-ones, otherwise you can go in at any time and learn and fix your systems. Yeah. Awesome. That's awesome. Gosh, see, you're doing awesome. I have questions just in case we aren't talking and you're not saying anything, but you are really, really good so far. Let me just see what else. I could actually, if you didn't take the plunge to fix all these things, where would you be now, do you think? Because I know, do you find like you saved a lot of time, obviously time?
I think I would be feeling distracted, and I'd be feeling, I'd be not less confident about the changes that I've already made in terms of reaching out to my database more. I think I'd be still kind of in putting out fire mode sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I have to say, you know, I didn't just immediately agree to do the Agent Tech Mastery. I felt I had already benefited so much from my
the one-on-one
relationship with you. But when I really gave it the thought, and then the benefits really outweighed the any concerns I had. But my biggest concern was, am I going to need to be taking on more stuff that I have to unlearn and relearn?
Yeah.
Really it was quite easy in the end, you know.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah.
And even just cleaning up, like I had so many people in my phone that I had one name, no phone number. Like who are these people? Like getting rid of all that stuff that is,
Yes.
you know,
it's cleansing.
yeah.
It's right, because we get all the contacts from all the various sources and get them into that one business email. And then there's obviously going to be some cleanup, because usually it's years and years of, you put somebody here and then you put them there and then you put them there and then you integrate and merge them, and now you got to clean stuff up. But it's cleansing, because you're like, who's that? I don't even know who that person is. Delete. Right? It's like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So garbage in, garbage out, right? You don't, you know, and that way you're not. I mean, I did have to do post cleanup after I imported everybody.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
You know, but I just did that over time. I actually did the most of my deleting from my phone, because it was easy to do it just if I was watching the news or whatever.
Yeah.
And avoided that repetitive wrist motion with the mouse.
Yeah. And then when you're doing that on your phone, people watching, because her stuff is all integrated now, when she does it on her phone, it will delete or update it on her CRM, on whatever else she's viewing it and using, whether it's Outlook or Mac Mail or the web version or iPad or Android or whatever. That's the beauty of this, right?
Yeah.
One update.
Yeah. And then the other thing too is I never had my own, like you want your email address to be reflective of your business. So for me, it's Carmen. Carmen. So when I first became a realtor, like 11 years ago, I think my email was carmenmc@telus.net. Well, how boring is that, right?
Well, and TELUS is that pop email where nothing syncs and integrates. It was back then. It's a little bit changed now. Yeah.
So
TELUS is not good.
Yeah, that was the other benefit that I learned from Darci as well, is you want your email to reflect who you are, and for me it happens to be my website too, so it just works. Yeah.
Well, because I don't know if you remember this too, because I've preached this for a long time, is that you should never ever have even if you're retired and not working, you should never have your internet service provider as your email. Because what if you move and they aren't in the other area, right? Or you want to switch. Oh no, everybody's got my whatever, Shaw, Bell, TELUS, whatever email. And so there's so many free emails, and I'm not saying agents shouldn't do this, but like if your mother is using Shaw, get her on a Gmail or a Yahoo or whatever, something else, because then she carries that with her forever, and it's not tied to the wireless provider.
Yeah, such a good point. But unless somebody explains that to you, none of us would normally think about that.
Yeah, until it's time to move or something, right? And then it's like, now I really got to figure out what I'm doing, right? Because they're going to just cut your email off. So it's interesting. What else? I think we talked about, well, because you and I have worked together for so long, but could you have done what we did together alone?
No, I wouldn't have. And the other thing is too, because it has a finite beginning and end date, you're more aware of what you have to do within that time frame. Like if it was like a 18-week course, I might have just kept procrastinating. And even when I signed up, I did miss a couple of the first Q&As, and I was really annoyed at myself after that I did that. So for anybody that's starting, don't start until you can you can commit your time to those Q&As on the Friday, because they're all recorded and you can go back.
Not the same.
No. And then the other thing too, for me, I'm a RE/MAX agent, but I've now met a lot more RE/MAXers just from the 7-week that I was on the course, because a lot of them, I know. Particular 7-week window, there were a lot of RE/MAXers.
It was because when you came in, I had just spoken at a conference, and so a RE/MAX conference, and so a bunch of them were in at that time. That's unusual, but it is unusual because I help agents from all over North America, but that specific time was a lot of RE/MAXers for sure.
But the other thing is, you just never know. you know, when you're going to, I mean, when you meet, like there were people on the 7-week program from California. I just don't know. I might need to reach out to an agent in California one day.
That's right.
So there's also that benefit of just that connectivity. And then, you know, the conversations, because they're all realtors on the call, it's our world. Like the questions, it's just our reality. Oh my God, this happens to me all the time. Right. So that's the nice thing about it. Just kind of,
it's not just you.
That we're all the same, really. You know, we're all in business by ourselves, but we're not on our own, sort of thing.
Yes, by ourselves, not on. What was that? Someone was just talking about there was an old Remax saying that was something like that.
Yeah.
Not by ourselves, or I can't remember now. I meant to write it down when they said it, and I thought, oh, that's cool. They should bring that back.
Yeah.
I have to go look it up, but it was a cool tagline that Remax in the old days used to have, for sure.
And it's nice to be part of the group too on Facebook and stuff. You know, I mean, it's yeah, I think we're just all in this together, and we're all just doing our best. But I do think if you have good systems in place, and that I think the benefit of that is also the consistency, and then not having to update anything in 3 different places, having that, you know, and the regular synchronizations of the data that, you know, that just happens spontaneously. All of that stuff is so important.
Now, I don't know, and I might be putting you on the spot here, but did you ever do the email blast in the 5th week?
No, I
you gotta do it
again, because I was in this transition mode. I waited until the end of January, and I combined it with letting people know about my new business model.
Okay, good. Okay. Yeah.
And I got a 74% open rate.
Nice. And did you get any people reply back?
Oh, tons.
Yes.
And now what I'm doing is people, and I'm saying, oh, I noticed that you opened up my email back in January, and this is what I'm all about. And then it just kind of goes from there. You know, I've had talked to people that I hadn't talked to for 7 or 8 years.
Yes. And you know what, you guys who's listening to this after, they're going to remember Carmen now, because that relationship is back on track, right?
Yeah.
So who's that person who sold my condo 10 years ago? She was really nice, but who was she? Right? Like, now they're going to remember who you are again.
And you know, once you start doing it, like, even like I say, I'm thinking now of doing my newsletter every other month rather than just quarterly.
Yep.
So I think there's always room to improve, and the learning never stops. I think as realtors, we've certainly demonstrated how we have adapted to our new world of being in, you know.
Yes.
And I just looked at a stat that I got from Korea today, the Canadian Real Estate Association, in January was like the sales to active listing ratio was 90.7% across Canada. And
whoa.
It's consistent in every market. The sales volume has gone up dramatically.
Yeah.
The level of inventory is consistently low.
Yeah.
And there's a variation in increase in median pricing, but it's an amazing picture. Like the whole cross Canada picture, it's the same. Now, when would that have ever been experienced?
And it's crazy. Like, I know Terry's got a bunch of buyers. Who wants buyers now? Because, you know, there's multiple offers on, like, you know, $200,000 condos. Like, who would ever have seen that? Or a $2 million place. Like, it's buyers are tough now.
Yeah.
But good to have them, right? Right.
Yeah. Well, the interest rates are so low right now.
Yeah, right. The interest rates, and everyone knows now that you don't necessarily have to live in a certain area. You can move to a less expensive area and have more room, right? So, yeah, it's awesome. Well, you have been awesome. I honestly, with a lot of the people I work with, they become friends because we hang out. But you and I obviously have known each other before. But it's been just a joy to see your new, like, chapter in your life with the new website and all the stuff that's happening. It's going to be awesome. Again, Carmen's in Richmond, British Columbia, near the airport. You need a good agent, Carmen McCracken. Just get cracking, get McCracken. Like, it's so cool. So I always ask this crazy last question, and I actually don't know the answer. What's your favorite food?
Popcorn.
Oh my gosh, me too.
Yeah, I'm terrible for that. When I go to Costco, that I see that great big bag of the Chicago, you know, the caramel and the.
Oh, you buy the big one from Costco. Okay.
It's embarrassing how
when you come and visit.
my kids tell this story when they were growing up. I would make the big thing of popcorn on a Saturday night, but I'd have the biggest bowl.
I love fresh popped popcorn. Terry makes this, and I like spicy food, and I don't know how long we've been doing this, but he makes this. He makes a spicy oil and then pops the popcorn in it, and it's this spicy. Oh, I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. It's so delicious. I'll have to remember that popcorn. When you're in town, come visit. We'll have Terry popcorn.
Okay, for sure. Well, I look forward to the next REMAX conference. That's the other thing, you know. I hope that we will still be able to go to Quebec City for the one that was supposed to be last fall. I would love to go there again.
Let's hope it's got to. I mean, it has to clear up at some point. So hopefully this year, but if not next, it's gotta.
Yeah, once we get the herd immunity, I think it'll be.
Yeah.
It'll be a good thing for all of us on the planet.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Carmen, thank you for taking the time out. For anyone listening, there'll be a link below and above about how to apply to chat about your systems and how we can help. Remember, scaling your business just doesn't happen by yourself, right? You need expert guidance to make it happen. And we've helped clients all across North America with this. And we're doing this interview series. So we have a couple more lined up, and they should be in the next few weeks, 2-3 weeks. So stay tuned. And thanks again, Carmen. So we'll sign off.
I just thought of that REMAX logo. It was in business for yourself, but not by yourself.
By yourself. And yes, thank you. Oh my gosh, I was racking my brain. What is that? Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. We'll talk soon.
I will. Talk to you later, Carmen. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.